Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members of parliament. According to the Guardian news website, over 6 deaths and more than 300 protesters were arrested in a single day of demonstrations in the month of July. That means that every time demonstrations are held in Kenya, the likelihood of loss of lives and property is at an all-time high, which begs the question, is it worth it to continue losing lives and properties in the name of protesting against the high cost of living? Aren't there amicable ways that can be put in place to address these issues that will not result in the loss of lives or property? This is why I stand before you today to help you answer that question. Firstly, Kenya has a population of over 50 million people today as it stands, with over 300 elected members comprising of 290 elected members of parliament from each constituency, 47 women representatives elected from the counties, and the 12 nominated members of parliament. This is without adding the 47 elected governors and senators from each county, as well as their members of county assemblies. That means that we have ample representations through the leaders that we elect. Why then should we choose the streets to air out our grievances? It speaks to the current elected leaders we have that if those who elected you can resolve to go to the streets to demonstrate over the high cost of living, then that means that you're not representing their voices enough. Yet that's why we vote in leaders to be a voice to the people. We must therefore renew our stance as leaders, not to give in to foreign influence from the executive, but to have the voice of the people as our guide so that we pass laws that favor affordable living and that cushion the common mwananchi instead of having them go to the streets where some of them end up losing their lives. Secondly, we had elections last year where we were able to elect our leaders into office. The opposition leader, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, disagreed with the said outcome of the elections and decided to go to court to prove that he was the one who won the elections and not His Excellency the President William Samoei Arap Ruto. Evidence was presented and the judges ruled that there was no sufficient evidence to prove rigging and that William Ruto was rightly elected into office as the president. We must therefore agree as a country that in line with the constitution and the legal frameworks in place, that we have a legitimate government in office and that therefore no life should be lost while trying to dispute that outcome because it is already backed by the constitution and the judiciary. The problem in Kenya therefore is not an election dispute but one of a high cost of living issue. The high cost of living should be resolved by the leaders that we have elected, and that is why I began by proving that there is ample representation of us in the parliament. Talks between Ruto and Raila cannot therefore bring down the cost of living, but only will result in peace between the two leaders and their supporters. The solution to bringing down the cost of living lies in our already elected leaders and their commitment to see that laws that favor the common mwananchi are passed irrespective of the political party that one was elected through. Lastly, but not the least, is accountability of the resources available. Recently, we saw parents in Uasin Gishu who contributed thousands of shillings to the county government in order to have their children further their studies abroad, only for them to lose the money and get no scholarships. That is just but a snippet of how much misuse and misappropriation of public funds there is in Kenya. If all our leaders committed to ensure equitable share of resources that have been placed under their care, then most of the issues that affect the common mwananchi will be resolved. Imagine the CDF funds being released in time to students, roads being constructed, and enough medicine in our hospitals. Why will someone then resolve to go demonstrate in the streets? If we commit to ensure good utilization of public funds, then the common mwananchi will automatically resort to peaceful living and even violence and theft issues will go down. Leaders play a big role in the peace and progress of a nation, just as witnessed in Singapore, where one leader, Lee Kuan, gave up his life to ensuring the progress of his nation, and today the country, Singapore, is one of the most developed countries. It is such stories that should push us to be better leaders because whenever there is good leadership, change is inevitable. In the words of former US President Barack Obama, yes we can and yes we will. Thank you for your time.